Hi, I'm now going to show you how to mark, measure and cut out a half lap joint. What you will need for this is one sharp pencil, a steel rule, a tri-square, a tenon saw, a bench hook and 2 bits of wood, the same size preferably. And also you need to be working by a woodwork vise. Okay, so what you do with your 2 bits of wood, you need to make sure they are the same thickness all the way round, okay? And then it's a half lap joint, so we need to work out half of the wood. So a little bit of a cheats way of doing that is to use the other bit of wood you're hoping to join it to and draw around it for the first part. Do that with the other one. The wood I'm using is pine, which is a softwood. I'm using a softwood because it's easier to cut, it's cheaper, it's got a nice light colour, okay. I'm quite lucky with this bit, there's not many knots, so that helps too. Okay, so I've got a line around all of those bits of wood there. Now what I'm essentially going to do is cut away half of the material on both sides so they slot together. So I need to work out what half of this is. Now I know already that my wood is 44mm square, so I need to mark where 22 is in millimetres, using millimetres of course, because it's the most accurate. So I'm just marking that with a small dash there, and then I'll be using my tri-square just to mark that. And what I need to do is do that again on the other side, but what I can do is just by hand, in case I've measured it wrong somehow. That way it'll all be the same. So there's that cut away, and what you can do, it doesn't matter which side you cut, but I'll do the one with the writing on just to save me sanding it off later, and I can just do a scribble through the area that I want to get rid of. Now for this joint you've got to cut both across and with the grain, so I'm going to cut across the grain first because that's the hardest bit. I'm going to use a bench hook in my desk vise. Okay, nice and secure, so I'm not going to be rocking and rolling around. I'm going to press my bit of wood, okay, against that, and I use my thumb to secure it like so, and then my other fingers to hold it in place. I've got my line that I'm going to be cutting really close to the edge of the bench hook, and then I'm going to be using my tenon saw. Now, as I've told you loads of times before, it will, when you first start cutting across the grain, try and move around a bit, so it's a good idea just to do a few drags in one direction, so you've got a groove to work from, and then you should be able to start cutting down. I'm using a tenon saw because it's a really straight, big blade. I'm using the whole blade to cut through. That way it's going to be quicker. If I do it like this, even though I'm going really fast, I'm not actually going anywhere. So using the whole of the blade, pushing it through until I get to my halfway point. Not tilting it up because then it will be uneven. I'm cutting it nice and straight. Ooh, a little bit more. There we go. Doesn't matter if you go a little bit beyond the line, but that's what we're looking for there. I can move my bench vise for now. There. And then I need to pop my bit of wood in, not in my vise, not high up like that because it will wobble around. I'm going to have it nice and low to where I'm cutting down. And again, I'm now cutting this line and I'm going with the grain, so it shouldn't take me as long. A few drags down, and then down we go. You can also, if you're in year 11, use the bandsaw to do this, but it's good exercise to use the hand tools. I'm always using a hand to support myself while I'm sawing, especially for a thick piece of wood like this. You can do it two-handed as well, you find that easier, but you might find that it wobbles a bit. I find that if I securely have my hand on the table, it helps me out a little bit more. Just for the final bit, there we go. So there's half of my half lap joint. What I would do is repeat the process that I've done already onto this one here, and it should just slot together. The end.